welcome back to my channel. My name is Mercy and this is the Baked Berry. So if you're watching this, it means I uploaded my first video and I didn't die, so we are here again. And for today's video we'll be doing something fun. I don't even know what to describe it as, but we're making cupcakes. They are so much fun to make. They are so easy to make as well, and it's something that is normally, I don't even know why people make cupcakes such a big deal, but they are so pretty to look at. They are amazing in terms of flavor. And also, if you remember those days when we knew them as queen cakes, watu wa kukula kwa karatasi, we see you, we know. So we are going to be making these cupcakes. So anyway, let us get started. As usual, I've lined up my ingredients here so that I can see them all clearly, measured everything so that when I start, I am good to go. I have also preheated my oven, 180 degrees, always the first step. And I'm going to take my bowl here. So what I've put in this is flour, 3.5 cups of flour. I've also put half a teaspoon of salt and 4 teaspoons of baking powder. So I can sift all my dry ingredients together. So I'm going to sift. You can use a smaller sieve or whatever you might have. It doesn't have to be rocket science. So we want to aerate, mix everything together so that you get that nice, light and cloudy cupcake. You know, when we were growing up, there used to be some of the fun things that when you go to the shop, oh, nilete queen cake. And we remember those ones that are normally so rich, they have a nice crust, but always find them as if they are a bit too dry. And making a cupcake from scratch, it may be on a scale of 1 to 10. It's not so complicated as long as you have the right recipe. And I must also mention, this recipe, I tried it out. I think it was from one of the YouTubers. I'm not sure I remember the name, but when I remember, I'll definitely make sure to tell you guys. So I cannot say it's entirely a recipe I made up from scratch. I got it, it worked for me, so I just kept on making it and making adjustments here and there. Now, I'm going to take this bigger bowl of mine, and you can see selection of bowls. Baking can be so messy. But it's fun! That's why we keep doing it. So this is my half a cup of margarine. To this I am going to add my sugar. Now I don't know if you can tell, but my sugar is caster sugar. So that means that it is lighter in terms of the grains and even the color. So from this part, I've used this recipe with normal sugar, the one we use for, I don't know, like tea, regular household stuff anyway. And it didn't turn out the same because it was a bit dry. So I just decided to stick to the granulated sugar. And when you go to the supermarket, you normally see it's written caster sugar. A very simple piece of paper, so it should be easy for you to get. So I'm going to put that into the margarine. Then, what makes the cupcakes so moist? Oil. Basic flavorless oil. Just kuja kusema hapa canola oil, sijui olive oil. It will give you a very different flavor than what we want. And as usual, a hint of vanilla. I find this vanilla to be, wow, okay. But your ancestors were here. What ended up to be a hint is a teaspoon of vanilla essence or vanilla extract. You can also add lemon if you want. In terms of flavoring, it's very flexible. If you want to add cinnamon, if you want to make them into a chocolate cupcake, this is the starter kit right here. You can do whatever you want after that. Then I'm taking my hand mixer. So what I want to do is to cream this until it is very light and fluffy. And because we've added the oil, it actually becomes creamier and lighter in a span of a minute or two. So it makes your work so much easier. I don't know if we can do this with a whisk, but to be honest, mixer just makes things easier. So it has become so nice and light and fluffy. And because the sugar we're using is a much finer texture, plus there's oil in there, so it all comes together super, super fast. our eggs are mixed in, the mixture should not curdle or separate in a bit. If it separates, just continue beating and you will get that smooth texture. So now I'm left with 2 items for this recipe. Here I have the sugar, sorry, not the sugar, I have the salt, I have the baking powder and the flour. And yes, it's also very important for me to say a pinch of salt goes a long way in any baked good. It actually brings out a better flavor profile, and it makes the sweetness like a bit more mild. I don't know what the word is, but sugar, salt is also as equally important, even though we're not putting a lot. So the other thing that I have here is buttermilk. Now, the question of what is buttermilk? Buttermilk ni mala too. There's nothing like extra special about it. So if you don't have mala, you can actually take a scoop of half a cup of natural yogurt, add fresh milk, and give it some time. It will definitely give you the buttermilk. Another easier way is just to mix this 1.5 cups of fresh milk with some lemon juice. It will just start curdling on its own, and you still have the buttermilk. So again, this contributes to giving the cupcake a more bouncy and a moister feel. I don't know if there's a word like moister, but oh yeah. But anyway, so this, as opposed to fresh milk, gives it a nice kick, and you can actually feel that sweet and sourness in one bite. So to avoid making a mess, as always, today I've even put a kitchen towel, so that I don't make such a big mess. So I'm going to be putting them in portions. I'll take the flour, do half of it. You can do this in 2 or 3 alternating sequence. It just depends on how big your bowl is and how comfortable you are. So I'm going to mix. And another important note, we're doing this on the lowest speed. We don't want to make it so tough by going about it with a very fast speed, because it will overdo the batter and it will give us a very tough cupcake. So they are delicate things, so they should be treated that way. There's a lot of scraping going on because there's some flour on the ends. So I don't want to be messy, so I'll put half of my buttermilk. It's quite thick. Is coming together so well. My last portion of the flour done. Again, making a mess. So one more scrape to make sure that all our liquids are mixed together. And it's a very light batter. If you make a cupcake batter and it is so almost like dough consistency, that definitely tells you that cupcake will not be moist. sure nothing was left at the bottom. Super light. So our dough is complete. The only other thing that is now left to make this into a cupcake, we have some very important components here. One is, of course, the tray, and this paper or cupcake liners here. These are the ones we used to eat growing up until you have squeezed out every bit of cupcake out of that thing. So I'm just going to put them in. It just basically keeps the cupcake together so it doesn't just stick to the pan. But I feel like also this contributes a lot to the aesthetic of the cupcake. It makes it look so nice, so elegant. And you don't have to do plain like me. It's only that I normally buy them in batches. And this just goes well with most people. There are so many fancy paper liners out there. You should definitely use them. Now, the other thing is also making sure that you have the same amount of this butter in everything. So you can use a spoon, but for me, I find that an ice cream scooper is just most efficient because you only do once, yeah, and you're done. You have to cook out the butter from time to time, but it does the job so easy. I think this is the best part. My ice cream scoop sometimes misbehaves, and I have to get it all out at once. So when it comes to filling these cupcake liners, you don't want to fill them to the brim because they will still rise. You want to have at least 3/4 way full. They don't form that crazy dough, but they do rise evenly. There are people who like their cupcakes a flat top, a domed top, you know. The best cake is the one that you like. I said it. So, and voila, we have even amounts of the butter in all the liners. So the next step is to bake this, and we're going to bake it for about 15 minutes until we insert a toothpick and it comes out clean. And then we will be back to see how they turn out, add a bit more decoration, make them fancy and all. So see you in a few minutes. So our cupcakes are baked, and it took roughly about 10 to 15 minutes. So I made them in 2 batches. The recipe that I'm going to be attaching down below, it makes 2 dozen cupcakes, so you can just half the ingredients if you don't need that many cupcakes. So I also went ahead because some of them will be enjoyed without frosting, and I also went ahead and made some whipped cream. Oops, wow. Huh. Niko clumsy leo. Anyways. So I went ahead and made some whipped cream with some leftover salted caramel that I have, and we are going to be using this to make our cupcakes to the next level. So normally once you bake them, they're normally very delicate, but as they cool, they form a bit of a crust on top, which softens as the day goes by. They're even better the next day, but we're still going to decorate them, even though we'll enjoy them much later. So what I have here is a disposable piping bag. These ones are usually available at any cake supply store. I also put a piping tip to make them look fancy. So if you don't have the tip, then you can always just put it in the bag, cut a section of all sides, and then you just pipe them. It will still look as good. At this point, the flavor is amazing. So I'm going to put some whipped cream there. I don't want to fill it so much because I only just want to decorate a few. It can get quite messy. Then I squeeze through to see that it's coming out nicely. So I usually don't like so much icing on the cupcake because you'll forget and you'll be like, what are we eating here exactly? Is it a cupcake? Is it frosting? So you want that nice balance between the two. So I'll just make a nice swirl. You don't want to do so much. You just want to make them look pretty. And what I've used is the non-dairy whipped cream. So it would still be nice to refrigerate these. So, yes. So I'm just going to fill up my bag again. Should just have put all of it. Damn. I'm trying to do this. Wow. Wow. And this would be so nice to do with kids. Hey, the mess, but it will be worth it. They'll enjoy it as much as you will. So again, decorate. Yes. So I'm just going to put that there. Grab the kitchen because it's such a mess. No wonder when you bake kitchen towels, you go through them like rolls and rolls every month. But is it worth it? Definitely yes. So we have our salted caramel here. Nice. I made this a few days ago. And since I don't plan on making anything else or an order that requires salted caramel, so I just thought I'd finish this off. And it is so easy to make at home and it is so delicious. It's insane. So, without any formula whatsoever, I'm just going to put like streaks of this on the icing. Oh my god. What? It's literally, I don't know if it's just me, but I think that even if you are upset and somebody gives you a cupcake, like if these don't make you happy, my friend, I don't know how to help you. This brighten up a day. And I'm not using any formula. You can go around, be generous. And if you don't have salted caramel, you can use whipped cream. There are so many ways. Actually, another neat trick is to put instant coffee in your whipped cream. This way, you will have some very extra flavor combination with your vanilla cupcake instead of plain whipped cream. I really don't like plain whipped cream. I'll add whatever I need to add to take it to the next level. Damn, this looks so good. I even wonder, why did I just fill the middle of this cupcake with this caramel? Because I still have so much left. Don't worry about the mess. You can clean up and enjoy this as you do. And yes, there you go. So I know it's a bit extra, but when we go all out, I mean, it's a cupcake. So I have these gold star, is it? Yeah, gold star sprinkles that I got off another shop on Instagram. So they are really, really cute looking. And I sprinkle this, I think, in most of my bakes. Guilty. So I'm going to just put a few since I also don't have so many. Wow. I'm getting carried away. I cannot wait. Most of the time in this baking business, you find that you rarely get to enjoy your own creations. So they're done. And this is going to be our vanilla cupcake with salted caramel, whipped cream, and a bit of dazzle here to make it extra. So now we have to cut the inside. Cut into these cupcakes. So I'm just to slowly remove the paper, put it aside. So you can see it's very light, not much caramelization, and that is a good thing. And we're going to cut it into half. And this is what it looks like. Voila! Vanilla cupcake with salted caramel. It does not get better than this. I'm just saying. Yeah. So we are going to be putting this away. Just give it a bit of time to chill, and then we're going to be enjoying them later on. And you should try them. Make sure you try the recipe, say how it is. And all the ingredients will be listed in the description box below. So comment, share with us your photos. Let's see how they turned out. You can tag us also at the Baked Berry KE. Subscribe to this channel so that you can continue baking amazing treats coming on. Until next time, see ya!